Hey guys, I want to take this question from NJ1983. Okay, he's got some good, interesting comments, good points. Let's see if it actually makes sense and it weighs out. All right. If you're looking to purchase a property in the Dubai market, there's a link below. Click it. Fill up the form. You can work with us. We charge you money up front. Why? Because we've got tons of experience and expertise to guide you. Okay. All right. All right. Hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. Let's read this like somebody would read the news, right? Welcome to the headlines for today. In recent news, we've got an amazing comment from NJ1983. Let's read the comment and then try to comment back on his comment. Spot on! He talks about real estate cycles in Dubai. Spot on. Thank you for agreeing with me. Then he goes on to disagree. Real estate, like most business, is cyclical. Good. Problem in Dubai real estate is more cyclical than most markets, example Singapore and Hong Kong, because Dubai is yet to establish itself as a regional corporate hub for expats. Now, I'm going to slightly disagree with you. The thing is, when we look at real estate in Dubai, the freehold part, we're about only 22 years old. And what I'm seeing and what I'm suggesting to people is the market, I think even in 22 years, is maturing. It's not a mature market like you might have Singapore or Hong Kong or Monaco or New York or Toronto, where the cycles are less protracted and less violent. V for a violent. I think Dubai cycles are going to get more and more softer. Why? Because the market matures more. People hold on to the property. And I'll try to explain something to you, okay? The original first crash of 2008, which was, off of the global financial crisis, was more violent and more protected and more clear. Why? Because you could see it. A lot of people ended up selling, right? So in 2008, think about it. Burj Khalifa was not ready. Dubai Mall was not ready. A lot of the rest was not ready. So if a crash happened and you couldn't see what's going to happen next, you're like, okay, just sell. But 2015, 16, 17, and even the weird pandemic, we never get into a crash into the market, right? Why? People were collecting rents. Things were more real. Now going forward, I think the cycle is going to be more exponential or it's going to be softer. He goes on to say, Singapore has constant real estate demand from well-paid expats. I'm not talking about just wealthy millionaires moving for tax reasons or TikTok influencers or fleeing Russians, but working class expats from all over the world. Not true. How easy, now you answer this to me, how easy is it for anybody to move to Singapore? Do you know the answer? My personal opinion is it's not very easy. You really need a job. Even if you want to go as a tourist, Singapore's got a very strict system in who it's going to allow to come into the country and offer visas. You've got to prove that you're a certain standard in your own home country. You're going to leave. You're not going to create a ruckus. You don't have all of these, things that most countries wouldn't want a tourist not to come. Like the kind of person that countries don't want to come because they're not really tourists. They're coming to actually do other things like look for a job, back on the streets, create crimes, so on and so forth. I think Singapore is pretty strict with that, right? You need a tourist visa and everybody just cannot apply and get it. Number one. Number two, jobs are the same thing. You can't just go there, look for a job. This is my understanding. You can correct me. Dubai has been the opposite. Dubai is going to become more like Singapore, but Dubai has been the opposite, which is come here, look for a job. And I think about 60% of the people do this. They come to Dubai, they look for a job, they settle in. I kind of did that, right? I was born and raised in Dubai. So yes, I was kind of like based in Dubai still because my family was here, my parents, my sister, and so on and so forth. But when I moved back from Toronto, Canada, I didn't have a job here. I just moved here, started looking, found something suitable in the private equity space at that time. And then I moved into real estate. But the point is, Singapore's not like that. Dubai is. Dubai allows you to move here. So when you say, and I'm going to quote you, Anjani, like I'm not talking about just the wealthy billionaires and millionaires moving for tax reasons. That's good. If they're moving here for tax reasons, it's kind of like a good clientele to have. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But you've got to remember this in Singapore, and that's the point I was trying to make, is most expats, they can't own an apartment in Singapore. Singapore is really high price, yeah? Bless you, because it's land scarce, as you've said. Or TikTok influencers, nothing wrong with that. TikTok influencers are welcome. They're the new mini celebrities. Or fleeing Russians, but working class expats from all over the world, because Singapore has established itself as a APAC hub for many corporates who employ hundreds of thousands. I'm not going to argue with you. Okay, yeah, fine. Singapore has been like the cosmopolitan city. And I think even in today's terms, like there's only few cities around the globe, like maybe less than 20, that compete with Dubai in terms of security, safety, goodness, niceness, cleanliness. Singapore is one of them. That's great, right? But I do remember that when one of the top Visa or MasterCard needed to move hundreds of their employees out of Russia, they moved them to Dubai. They didn't move them to Singapore. Perhaps Singapore does not even have the infrastructure to take 100, 200 people in one shot. Dubai has that, right? Dubai has that room for growth. MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. It's a good thing, right? Till Dubai is able to reach that level and government controls the supply of new real estate, like it's done in land scarce Singapore, Dubai will remain a lot more cyclical. Guys, like if you try to, you guys don't understand this. Dubai rents go up crazy every time we've got this huge surge of demand. Before 2008, 2012, post-pandemic, rents have gone up by 40%, 50% in 2 to 3 years. How do you bring that down? You get more developments to come in. So if you start controlling it, people get priced out, right? People get priced out. Then rent, and this was one of the biggest problems that people had. Man, rent's taking up 30-40% of their salaries. What kind of life they're going to have? So the Dubai government has got to encourage more development so that rents can come to be a more reasonable level, right? So that rent can take about 15% of someone's salary and people can live in dignity, ease, and peace, right? Instead of having to live in Sharjah sometimes or Ajman, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. Great, right? But then the commute's like 2 hours, an hour and a half sometimes. Challenging, right? So Dubai will remain a lot more cyclical. I don't think it'll be. Good luck to those whose properties will be handed over after 2025. Sure, let's see what happens. Will be interesting to see how accurate will be the rosy predictions of 7 to 9% rental yields, especially for the hundreds of thousands of apartments. Look, so I've already started telling people, like, look, we were at 9 to 10%. Now, on the luxury apartment side, we're at 5%. And if you can get 7 to 8%, that's good for you, okay? But we're at the 5, 6, 7%. Why? Because prices are high. Yes, there's demand in the market, but we're a maturing market. Generally speaking, rental returns are highest in emerging markets because risks are high. So rental returns are high. But when the risk factors start coming down, how did they come down? Markets regulated, lots of buildings already built. If you're buying something, you can actually assess how much rent you'll get. If you're buying something, you've got a liquid asset today, right? Generally speaking, Dubai is liquid. Within 3 months, you can sell. And then you can say, look, I can even resell the property, so on and so forth, right? The main thing is, you've got to really understand that at the end of the day, Dubai is no longer that emerging market full of risks. We've got some funds coming into the market as well, right? It is still maybe not New York, London, Toronto, Canada, but the risks are lower now. Thank you very much for your comment. I hope what I said also made sense. Ciao for now.